Advanced work breakdown structures. An advanced work breakdown structure is a WBS that has multiple tiers of tasks. When you use an advanced work breakdown structure, you'll have parent tasks which act as a summary task. You will not be able to define effort and other information at the summary task level, as summary tasks will calculate effort, cost projections, and more based on its children. Okay, so let's get into Dynamics AX and demonstrate an advanced work breakdown structure. The only bullet that we have on the slide is to create and view an advanced WBS. And typically where an advanced work breakdown structure is needed is when an organization has requirements to break activities down very granular. An example would be with our previous example or demonstration, we had the analysis task, and basically, well, an organization that's keeping things at a high level and just tracking analysis, I mean, the simple example would be fine, but if you want to break analysis down into many granular tasks, that's where we get into advanced work breakdown structure. And a couple different terms that you'll hear used are summary tasks, and a summary task is a task that will have child tasks. And then you'll hear the other term child tasks, and a child tasks are the tasks that roll up into a summary task. So let's jump in and take a look at an advanced WBS. All right, so what you're seeing on the screen is a new work breakdown structure that I just defined that was similar to our simple example. So we have the 5 different tasks already existing, which are analysis, design, construction, deployment, and support. And to reiterate, each one of these tasks has an activity number assigned to it. So if you hit the details button, you can always see your different WBS activity numbers. And you don't see those right now because I haven't published that. So I'm just going to publish this real quick just so you can see. And so if I select analysis again and hit the details, there, now you got your activity number assigned to this specific task. And that's what you'll basically be defining when you log activities to any business document or forecast or anywhere inside of AX that's asking for an activity number. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back in edit mode, and then basically, in order to make this an advanced work breakdown structure, we're really adding subtasks underneath our tasks. So I'm not going to get into specifics with the naming convention. I just want to get the general procedure and the concepts around what we're doing here. So if you want to break analysis down into multiple tasks within analysis, you can definitely do so. The method of doing that is basically select the new button. So add a new task, and then we can say, sure, this is task 1. All right, and then you can define what the category is, and we'll say that we have, I don't know, 4 hours worth of effort in this task. So right now it's showing as a WBS ID of 2, which means that it's a top level task. So if I select off that, I mean, this is not what we want. We want to indent this. So this is where you can use the outdent, indent, move up, move down, whatever it is to move this to the right area. But for our purposes, we want to indent. So when we indent this, basically you can see that it falls into a new WBS ID, which is 1.1, so it falls into this analysis task. So it's task 1 under analysis. And notice all the information off our original task is now wiped out. And it's really just collecting information about its child task. So analysis is going to be considered a summary task, and task 1 is a child task. So now if I put consulting, and we have to complete task 1, which is 4 hours, and it basically takes 1 day with 1 resource doing this. So on 3/28 we should be able to accomplish this task. If you want to keep adding elements underneath analysis, you can. So you can just hit new, and you can see the defaults to 1.2. If you want to break this down to a more granular level, you could indent again if you wanted to. So I'll just put task 2 for this on consult, and we'll say this is 8 hours, and I'm going to go back up here and define this one as consult as well. I thought I did that, but must not save my change. All right, so now this is where we can see that our 2 lines under analysis are task 1 and task 2, and that's great. It's showing that they can both be completed on 328, and typically they could if it was 2 different resources doing this based on 8-hour calendars. But if it's only 1 resource doing this, this would not be a good fit. So that's where you can start working with your predecessors. So we can say that 1.1 has to be completed before we can even go to task 2. So with that being said, now you can see that our dates realign because we have auto scheduling in place. So now analysis has 12 hours worth of effort. It's going to take 2 total days to get that done, and it hasn't been staffed quite yet. So you can see how we can build this out. If you want to keep going, like I was mentioning earlier, to different levels deep of the hierarchy here, you can just keep adding. And so we can say task 1 is, we'll just call it subtask 1 here, and we can indent that. And now you can see that it's 1.2.1, which means now task 2 is a summary task. And you can see that the information off that got wiped out, and it's reading from its child tasks. But so you can come in, build your structure out as far as you want. And the reason this keeps defaulting back to PM is because that's my default task. I'll just do this. And a lot of times, from my experience, when I get into working with this, what really follows you up or kind of gives you some problems is that auto scheduling. So I like to work with it turned off. And ultimately, I like to work with it turned off because I have situations like this a lot of times. So if, let's say, yeah, you build out your advanced work breakdown structure, you got all your tasks built up, but now let's say we add a new task, and we'll just call it project management. And it's basically just a bucket to like flag an activity for project management. It rolls through the entire project, so we're going to outdent it. And I'm going to move it all the way down to the bottom, so it's the last one. And there's no predecessors, there's no nothing. This should just run from the start of the project to the end of the project. And you're going to allocate, let's say, I don't know, 75 hours for PM work. Well, the system's telling you that's 10 days worth of effort. Well, and it starts on 328 and ends on 4/8. Well, we know this project runs till 4/15, and we want to project manage the whole project, right? So this is, I mean, the system's kind of working against us, and you can try and adjust this to 4/28, and that will work, but now it's telling you now you need 492 hours worth of effort. It's the auto scheduling is just trying to project the best amount of amounts available to you or based upon the data it knows. Well, I don't want that to work like that, so I'm going to turn auto scheduling off. And now this is where your errors and the fix all schedule errors and fix selected tasks button come into play. Because now if we go back and we say, all right, well, we want our 75 hours, and it starts on 3/28, works till 4/28, and the days, sure, 24 days, and we only have 1 resource. If I save that information, great, it's going to take it now. But it's saying, hey, we know this isn't right, so there's a field up here called scheduling errors, and it's showing scheduling errors in here. And basically what you could do is you can use these buttons. You could say, fix all scheduling errors, and anywhere there's a exclamation point here, it's going to adjust it. So in this case, if I did that, I could either do it at the all level, where if there was a bunch of them in here, I would try and fix them all, or I'll just do the selected task. I'll just do the selected task here, and now you can see that it automatically updated. So it just runs that auto scheduling logic. But once again, we don't want that, so I'm going to go put 75 back in there, get rid of it. Okay, so I don't, first of all, I turn this off. I always hide the scheduling errors too, because they're irrelevant to me really if I'm setting my own stuff manually. And then I don't really use, for this situation, for the project management line, I don't use the fixing options as well. So I just wanted to walk you through that. Yeah, so I think the concept here is that you can indent your WBS. You can build it in as far as you want. The other thing to note is that, like, when you come in here, you can collapse all these too, and then you can expand to level 1 if you wanted, and it's just going to show you a view at your top levels, which is nice, or you can just explode the whole thing, or go to a specific level. But from this perspective, there's a 9 levels deep max. But I guess I haven't tested going past 9 levels in the AWBS, but if you have that, it looks like that's what it supports. From a cost and revenue perspective as well, so you can define the costs and revenues at each specific task, or child task, I should say. So task 1, you can see, first of all, if we expand analysis, it doesn't allow you to add new costs and revenue estimates at a parent level. It's always got to be at a child level. So at task 1, you can see that we have our hours in here. If you want to add new ones, you can for any other transaction type that may be applicable. So that's basically how you can define the cost and revenue at each specific child level. If we look at the different tracking views as well, now you get the breakdown at the levels that you've defined. So we'll expand all, and notice how it's not showing me what I would expect here. And what do you think the reasoning would be why it's only showing me analysis instead of the task? We haven't published what we've already worked with. So if I go back to the planning view, and now we publish this. Yep, we're going to publish it. Great. Now we're all square here. And now if we look at our tracking views, we can see that now it's breaking out the estimates or the remaining costs at the specific task level. You can still edit the remaining costs, but you cannot do that at the parent level or parent task level. You have to do it at the child level, which is a good thing. So you can see that I can update at the child level. So keep that in mind. And then we still have the effort tracking view, which is the same. Pretty much, other than it's showing us the different subtasks or child tasks. All right, and then, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. All the work's done at the child level. It summarizes at the summary task level, and then all the feature functionality is pretty much the same, but just make sure that you're working at the child level. All right.